welcome. This is livingpianos.com. I am Robert Estrin with a very important show, Where to Buy a Piano. There are many resources for this, and a lot comes down to your inclination, the amount of time you have, and the knowledge you have about pianos. So let's start at the beginning. Well, the most obvious thing is to find a piano store in your area. Depending upon where you live, there might be several stores in your area. In more remote areas, it could be a bigger problem, which we'll get to in a minute. But how do you know which stores to even go to? Well, fortunately, with online resources, you can check out reviews on websites like Yelp and Google and get a feel for what other people have had, what kind of experiences they have had. Also, the type of store, the lines they carry, new or used, are they a rebuilder? It depends what you're after. Maybe you know nothing about pianos and you want to get some information. You figure going to a store, you can look at a lot of pianos, at least try them out. And that could be a great thing to do, to try out the pianos, and you might gain a lot of information. Now, be wary of anybody who's pushy, trying to steer you to something early on before you even have a realm of experience as to what is suitable for you. You know, even if the store has a good reputation, you could get stuck with a salesperson who might use unscrupulous techniques. If you find that, for example, you find that maybe you're a little skeptical, so you take your phone out and start researching something that they have said, and if they get upset about this, I'd say that's a red flag, because somebody who really wants to help you to get a piano, they would want you to have all the proper information that you need to make that decision, whether it comes from them or a third-party resource, which you should do, because after all, most people have never bought a piano before. It's usually a once-in-a-lifetime event, and that's why a lot of people don't feel comfortable with it. What other ways are there to buy pianos? Well, private party pianos can be a tremendous resource if you know what you're looking for. Craigslist, eBay, and other websites devoted to pianos can be tremendously useful. However, you have to be aware that almost any piano being sold used is going to require work. So you need to educate yourself as to what to look for in a piano, how to check a soundboard, bridges, look how much wear there is on the hammers, even the finish of the piano. Can it be touched up or does it need to be refinished? Having a trusted friend who's a technician or even a pianist to help you try pianos so you know which pianos even are worth considering, that's really fundamental. So if you have a lot of time and you're willing to educate yourself, there are some deals to be had. But here's the thing that makes it such a challenge. If there really are some great pianos out there, and then other people might see a phenomenal deal, and if they're in the business, they might just run out there and buy it before you have a chance to hire the technician. So expect to be chasing your tail a bit in this process and be immersed in it for months, to really get the right piano and to know you're getting a piano that isn't going to be a nightmare for you. You don't want an albatross that you're going to have to sink money into. There are even free pianos online. Piano websites like pianoadoption.com have hundreds of pianos identified by each state and what, people who have stuck with pianos. Now, a piano that has an older style of furniture, for example, might not be that popular, and maybe you can get a deal on such an instrument if you don't mind a lighter finish, color, or something of that nature that other people don't want, and yet the piano plays okay. It could be a deal for you. Now, lastly, and not least though, is online resources like Living Pianos. We've been selling pianos online since 2006, and a lot of people really appreciate it. The kind of person who wants vast amounts of information and can count on our thousands of articles and videos to get them up to speed and to talk with experts, that's a great situation. And we're not the only online store. We may have been the first, but there are others out there. Be sure to check their reviews, because if you've never met the people or haven't visited, it's vital that you make sure that they are what they say they are and see the experiences others have had. Used pianos, after all, are incredibly labor intensive. They take a lot to be able to bring to life. And some stores just take in pianos on trade. Your neighborhood store probably doesn't have rebuilding facilities. And therefore, you got to make sure that the piano is in decent shape before you buy it, so you don't have to sink a lot of money into it afterwards. So there are lots of ways to get pianos. What about estate sales? The auctions, is that a possibility? Well, there again, if you've got the time, you've got the knowledge, possibly. But auctions particularly, you've got to go to a lot of auctions to get a deal. Why? Because piano businesses are making it their business to go to every auction, and they'll buy any piano that's a deal, but you might have specific requirements. Maybe you only want a piano of a certain size, a certain finish, maybe even you have it down to the brand. You could take months or years to find just what you're looking for, and then you go there and somebody else pays more for it than you are willing to pay, and you're right back to square one. The best way to do auctions is not to have anything particular in mind. Just find a deal on anything from a grandfather clock to a diamond ring, and if it's a great price, buy it. That way auctions can be very fruitful, but if you're looking for one particular thing, it can take very time-consuming to find it. Estate sales, well, they can be a good resource. However, once again, you're competing against businesses that are going out there, cash in hand, and they know what to look for. So if you go there and you don't have tremendous knowledge and you have to get a technician to even look at it before you can make the buying decision, it might be gone by the time you can arrange that. So the end lesson today about buying a piano is information is vital. The more you know, the better deal and the better piano you can get. And we welcome you to explore our website, which is searchable by keywords with, as I said, thousands of articles and free videos for you. Just about anything like what is a soundboard or, what is duplex scaling. I mean, anything you could think of, type it in there. And if we don't have a video, let me know and we'll make one just for you. Once again, thanks for joining us here. I'm Robert Estrin at livingpianos.com.